Morning, everybody, and welcome. I'd like to begin by sharing an excerpt from yesterday's gospel. From that time on, Jesus began to show his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and undergo great suffering at the hands of the elders, the scribes, the chief priests, and be killed, and on the third day be raised. And then Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him, saying, "God forbid it, Lord. This must never happen to you." But Jesus turned, and he said to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me, for you set your mind not on divine things, but on human things. You think like man, not like God." Then Jesus said to his disciples, "If any want to become my followers, let them deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. Let them lose their life." I love this reading. I've always loved this reading. I love it because it speaks to me and my life and my own faith journey and experience. And I love it when I work with my kids, when I teach. I love it because of Peter, because it's so real and human. Peter, remember last week, he was the one who declared when Jesus said, "Who do people say that I am?" He's the one who said, "You're the Messiah." And now he's the one getting in trouble. He's the one getting in trouble by Jesus. Now, what was the Messiah? The Messiah from the Jewish perspective was supposed to be a king. That's what they thought, like King David. Come in military might, overthrow the Romans at that point, and create Israel and God's kingdom. But that's not Jesus' model of the Messiah. That's not what it was about. That's not who he came to be. That's man's interpretation. That's the ego. That's what they need. That's a superficial or short-term perspective. Jesus' Messiah comes in on a donkey. Comes in with humility, service, and love. He stretches his arms out. That's how he shows power. That's how he shows love. That's how he changes the world, the paradigm, and shifts it. That's the gift of the Messiah. So I love it. Peter didn't get it. A lot of times we don't get it, or we get it 1 minute. I get it 1 minute, and then I don't get it the next. I don't understand it, or how it applies, or how to sort of live it out. Or I get the theory, but the reality sort of gets lost. That's why I love this reading. We all know Peter eventually gets it. He comes to it. That gives us hope, because we're all called and invited to come to it constantly. Constantly invited to take up our cross, deal with our challenges. Let those challenges be seeds of compassion and love, where we too can stretch out our arms. To lose our life so we can ultimately find it. To deny ourself, or our false self, our ego self, our superficial, our needy self. That's the invitation to follow this Messiah. And that's the hope that we have. So, hope that fits for you. Hope you can see some resonance in your own life. Thanks for walking with me. Have a great week. Peace. At this point, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you to pray with me for Jacob Blake and his family, and for all working for justice. We pray for law enforcement, we pray for lawmakers, we pray for all good people working to create change and somehow to get this right, to make it better. Please remember them and all these intentions in your prayers this week. Thanks.